episode of Porch Talk. I, of course, am Paul W. Marino, and for reasons unknown, oh, great, I got my finger stuck in my ear. Oh, so at any rate, for reasons unknown, or maybe easy to guess, my co-host, Eugene Michaelenko, is not here tonight. So I'm only going to do a short show, about half an hour. And you notice I have a new picture behind me. Joanne, if you want to put it in front, that's fine. Thank you. Now, this is going to be a two-part question. I'm not going to take any calls on this tonight unless people want to call in during the half hour. The question is, where was this photo taken? And for extra credit, what year was it taken? So, if you want to call in while I'm on the air, and if you want to guess where it was taken, if you guess right, thank you, Joanne. There we go. If you want to guess where it was and you're right, you still get bragging rights for the next 2 weeks, or however long it is until the first Friday in October. So if you want to call in, please do 664-4408. So what I was planning to do tonight with Gene is debut my new play. These plays that I write about the Enchanted Forest, I've heard them called fractured fairy tales, and to a degree they are, but you have to remember that these stories come from an oral tradition, which means they were passed down by word of mouth. And as times changed, the stories evolved. But then, when the stories were collected by people like the Brothers Grimm and Andrew Lang and people like them, they became carved in stone, as it were. So whatever elements are in the story are supposed to be there. So today, for instance, I wonder how many kids find it makes sense for the prince in Cinderella to be basing his marriage not on what the love of his life looks like, not by her eyes or anything, but on her shoe size. You know, today, even little kids know that shoes are no longer custom made. You go to the store like Walmart and you buy a pair of shoes, and if you wear a size 6, you know perfectly well there's 1,000 other people in town who also wear size 6. And another thing is, let's stop there. So this new play, which I wanted to write something, so I started working on this. It's based on The Princess and the Pea. Now, you recall that this is the story about a prince who wants to get married, and his mother insists he has to marry a absolutely genuine princess. And so one evening, someone knocks on the door and is admitted, and she says she's a princess, but she's soaking wet, and they dry her off and warm her up, and just to see if she's a real princess, they they make a stack of mattresses 10 feet or more high and stick a pea underneath the bottom one to see if she can feel it all the way through. And of course, she does, so she winds up getting married to this prince. And of course, one has to wonder, why do they have to get married? She came in looking for a place to dry off and get some sleep, and instead she wakes up in the morning and finds herself getting married. So, my play is titled The Princess and the Raw Vegetable Products. It's set in the Enchanted Forest, and one thing about this set, there are dried peas scattered all over the stage. And as people walk on the stage, they are slipping and skidding and on occasion falling down. The stories are narrated by a satyr-like creature. And you remember satyrs have the legs of goats and the horns of goats. So, so the denizen enters, all smiles, slips on something, almost falling, stops and looks curiously. Now, where in blazes did that come from? Tosses it aside, goes to her stump where she normally sits down, frowns, stands up and picks up a dried pea, tosses it aside and sits again. Then she smiles and waves. Well, hello there, and welcome once again to the Enchanted Forest. Have we got a show for you? And a man in the audience, or a woman, you'd better, after what we paid to get in here. What? Oh, no. That wasn't a question. It was more of an exclamation. That's as may be. I'm just saying. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for commentating. And thank you for paying the entrance fee. Now, she looks over her shoulder. I didn't think we'd charge for admission. And the stage manager steps out and says, we don't, but we do charge an exit fee. Exit fee? Yeah, we collect $100 per person. Anybody tries to leave early, they don't get their money back. That's really something. Yeah, it's actually better than that. By the time these shows are done, most people are so happy just to get out, they don't even think about the money. Really? How thoughtful. You bet. With the expenses of theater, it really pays to take advantage of every possibility, especially when you have a playwright as bad as Mr. Marie. Stops and listens to his headphones. Hey, we need to get going. I've got 50 princesses backstage. You're on. I'm on. How wonderful. Well, as I was saying, what was I saying? And the voice from the audience says, you were saying you had a show for us, and you'd better. Oh, yes, of course. Of course I've got of course we've got a show for you. Just please, don't hurt me. And the stage manager says, sounds like you better go on. And Prince Engelbert, the prince in question, says, gotcha. Engelbert enters, stage left, skids violently and grimaces. Denizen sees him and nods in relief. Thank heaven. As I was saying, our show is about a charming young prince who lived in the kingdom of Vegetabilia in the south part of the forest. And here he is now, His Royal Highness Prince Engelbert, and she bows grandly. Engelbert bows in reply, hail, thou horned creature, who for art thou? I am the denizen of the enchanted forest. I narrateth, refereeth, and keepeth the show on track. Thou hast not done such a bang-up job so far. Hast thou not seeneth yon script? Ooh, have I ever? I resteth my case. Thou hast a good point. Well, 3 if thou countest thy horns. I donteth, but why quibble? Why doth we not get on with the show? Why not, forsooth? Shall I explaineth the background? Feeleth thou free, as thou dost wishest. I art the royal son of, saith thou, would it beeth okay if we didst this in modern English? My tongue is beginning to trippeth over this archaic grammar. Go for it. Thanks. So anyway, I'm Prince Engelbert of Vegetabilia. My dad is King Cabbage, and my mom is Queen Rutabaga. Now, being a prince and of a marriageable age, I'm keen to get married, but my mom is dead set against it. Why is that, Engie? Engelbert, if you please. Oh, sorry. I thought we were using modern English. Just the grammar. Gotcha. Now, that is the first scene. As you can see, this is not going the way the original story went. So, as we said, he wants to get married. So, Queen Rutabaga calls for the first princess. Denizen rushes to downstage center and holds up a card reading number 1. Rushes back to her stump as Her Royal Highness Prince Magdalene of Hachamama. Princess Magdalene enters, drop dead gorgeous, and she curtsies, Your Majesties. King Cabbage opens his eyes wide with pleasure. Well, hello there. Rutabaga slaps the back of his head. No, she won't do. Get rid of her. A courtier grabs her arm and marches her off, stage left, slipping on the peas. Prince Engelbert says, Gee, Mom, I kind of like that one. Nope, she's no good. Next! Denizen rushes out and holds up a card reading number 28. Her Royal Highness, Princess Got a Secret of the Hidden Kingdom. Courtier escorts Got a Secret in. She is wearing a fake nose with glasses, eyebrows, and a mustache. As soon as she is close to the throne, Denizen runs back to her stump, skidding on a pea. Got a Secret does a deep curtsy and says in a fake accent, Greetings, Your Majesties. I am very pleased to meet you. Queen Rutabaga says, I am pleased to meet you. Engelbert, darling, come and meet your wife. Mom, let's not be hasty. Come and meet her. I got a secret. How do you do, Engelbert? Okay, I guess. If it's not a personal question, what do you look like under the mask? What mask? Mama, I don't think I like this one. Why not? She's a princess, isn't she? Well, yes, but Mom, she has more facial hair than I do. Maybe she's Italian. King Cabbage says, Tell me, my girl, are you Italian? No, but I can be if I have to. Very accommodating. Oh, that's a sign of excellent breeding. No, I don't like her. Next. Now, Engelbert, you haven't even talked with her yet. Why don't you take her into the garden and chat with her for a while? He thinks quickly and says, Tell you what, we need someone to spy on Antarctica. Camp out 2 miles south of the South Pole and get back to us in 300 years. She does an elaborate salute and replies, At once, mein Kommandant, mein Commander, Commissioner, boss, runs for stage right, skidding on the peas and exits. See here now, Engelbert, you are just too picky. I'm picky? What about you, Mom? You didn't like the last three just because they didn't hold their noses high enough. Royalty, my dear boy, must hold themselves to a standard. So I suppose I should have married the one that looked like a horse, huh? The one that wanted me to go visit her stable? All I'm saying, son, is that you need to come at this with an open mind. Now stop arguing, or I'll make you clean the cesspool again. Engelbert shudders, as would anyone of any sense. The butler shouts off stage, Her Royal Highness, Princess Minnie of Littleton. A minute passes as Denizen walks over and holds up a sign reading number 487,562. And eventually King Cabbage says, Well, where is she? Good day, your Royal Highnesses. That's funny. I can hear her, but I can't see anything. I'm right here. Queen Rutabaga says, Denizen, investigate at once. My pleasure. Steps forward, looking at the floor, a little squish is heard. What the? Lifts her foot and looks at it. Oops! Runs back to her stump. All the others roll their eyes. And Engelbert says, That's too bad. She looked swell. She doesn't now. And then the ultimate rejection. Her Royal Highness, Princess Oinky of Styland. Denizen rushes out with a sign reading 7,669,348. Oinky enters wearing a pig mask. Engelbert staggers back in horror. How do you do, your majesties? She grunts loudly, rolling her eyes. You certainly seem to have good breeding. Oh, I do, your majesty. My mother is a sow of excellent heritage, though my father is a dreadful bore. That's literally the way she laughs. And Cabbage and Rutabaga laugh too. What a wonderful sense of humor you have, my dear. Engelbert, come and say hello to your new wife. Hello to your new wife? Oh, dear me, that was funny. I'm going to enjoy living here. Excellent. Why don't you call for the bishop, my dear? Oh, look, this is Engelbert. Isn't that a mud puddle over there? Oh, good, I haven't had a bath since I left home. And Princess Oinky rushes over to stage right and begins wallowing happily. Mom, I don't want to marry her. And why ever not? She is well bred, she is polite, she has an excellent sense of humor, and a face like a pig. Engelbert, my dear boy, no one is perfect. No, but some are a lot less perfect than others. A whole lot less. I think it's nearly dinner time, dear. I believe it is. Engelbert, invite your little girlfriend to join us for dinner. There's nothing little about her. Invite her to join us for dinner. Yes, Mom. The royal court exits stage left, slipping on the dried peas. Engelbert crosses to Oinky. Oinky, we're about to have dinner. Would you care to join us? Oh, I'd love to. Do you know what we're having? No, some kind of slop. Oh, goody, my favorite. Grabs his arm and drags him off to the exit, and Denizen concludes the scene. Now, interestingly enough, while Princess Oinky did not marry Prince Engelbert, she did stay on in the palace. You see, after dinner, Prince Engelbert took her on a tour and chanced to introduce her to the royal cook, who took a great interest in her. And then Princess Oiki made several more appearances at the royal dinner table. So that's as far as I'm going to read. There are 6 scenes of this sort of nonsense, but I will tell you that when it is announced that that the last princess is going to get married, whoa, who said anything about getting married? And so she advises that Prince Engelbert go out and learn how to think for himself. You know, go out, travel far, sleep in the outdoors, rescue a maiden or two in distress, that sort of thing. And he does that, but comes to an unhappy end anyway. Well, he does get married eventually, but it's not to someone he really wants to marry. But at least we have a happy ending for the last princess and for the queen, if not the king. So maybe we'll read more of that next time when I actually have my host here. I have about 6 minutes left. And even though it's the wrong time of the month to announce this, I want to suggest that in October, you consider attending the forum of the Northern Berkshire Community Coalition. I have said it many times, and I expect I'll say it many times in the future, that if you have never been to a forum of the Northern Berkshire Community Coalition, you'll never forgive yourself if you don't go at least once. It's wonderful things happen there. I recall one time when, before Al Bashevkin retired, we were meeting in the Baptist church and we were doing introductions. In the first hour, everyone introduces themselves, says what organizations they're from and so on, and then we do announcements. If you're looking for announcements, it's a terrific place to be. So while we were doing introductions, when it came to be this one woman's turn, she started babbling in total panic that she had just become homeless. And she was advised to go to the Northern Berkshire Community Coalition because they could help her. And the more she rattled on about being homeless, organizations were coming out of the woodwork, from the Department of Children and Families to the Lewison House and other organizations as well. Come and see me during the break and we'll get you help. Now, she never came back to another forum, but I did see her on the street a couple of times since, and she seemed a lot calmer, so I gather that she did find a new home. Lewison House is, of course, the homeless shelter, and it's a wonderful organization if you want to support it. And there are many ways that you can donate to it. You can give cash, you can give items, you can give good used furniture that they can store and give to people who need it, that are going into a new apartment. And of course, the thing that I particularly like about the coalition is that when I was in high school, I was in the Methodist Youth Fellowship, and one evening we went over to the church in Williamstown for some kind of a program, and we watched a movie, and then people started discussing it. Oh, well, we need to do more of this. Oh, yes, yes. And we need to do more of that. And oh, yes, absolutely. And we need to do more this other thing. And every time I raised my hand to speak, the minister said to me, Paul, let the adults talk. Now, what I had to say might have been stupid, but then again, maybe it wasn't. Because what I wanted to say was, why aren't we doing these things? Why are we just sitting talking about it? Why aren't we doing it? Well, when you go to the coalition and there's a discussion on a given topic, you can rest assured that the discussion is not going to end when the forum is done. They will keep the discussion going. They will touch base with people who are interested in this topic and invite them to the office for regular meetings to discuss this and find things that they can do to alleviate that issue. If you look at the Martin Luther King Day celebration, that came out of the coalition. The Summer Youth Basketball League came out of the coalition. And also, no one is ever going to be told, let the others talk. You know, if the youth are there, they want to hear what youth have to say. And if you are there, they want to hear what you have to say. So please do give serious consideration to going to the coalition's forum in October. It will be the second Friday in October at 10 a.m. At Terra Nova at 85 Main Street on the concourse. Well, I'm just about out of time, so thank you, Joanne, for directing. Thank you for watching, both of you, and I will see you in 2 weeks or so here on Porch Talk.